Hi everyone, this is Plankton,
This is the amoeba.
and we're here to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
We just came out of a viewing, me for the second time,
Me
and
for the first time.
yeah, so let's get started to talk about it. We'll start off with our first impressions.
Sounds good.
So we'll start with you, since this is your first time seeing it.
This really is my first impression.
A true first impression.
Exactly. So I definitely felt like it was like anger management. Like all four of them were just like in intense anger management. And you start out with like accepting that you have anger and then like slowly going through the process of like telling your story of why you're angry. And at the end they got better and they like they're not like skipping in circles with like flowers on their heads. So I felt like at the end they're just like, let's hold hands and skip because we no longer have our anger management problems. It was beautiful. And I also felt like it was what was it, like what the Farscape movie should have been, but it wasn't. And if that had been the movie instead, I would have appreciated this series so much more.
It's a very interesting take, isn't it? Anger management.
What?
The entire movie's an anger management
It
class.
is. It is. Yeah.
Good. That's
Everyone
good.
had to have their feelings and share and huddle and
That
there's a
is
big group
true.
hug at the end. There was a big group hug at
I
the
know,
end.
that was the power of friendship. Yay!
They're, like all worked out their like hidden like probably like their father issues and all that other stuff. So
Well, my first impression when I came out of the theater the first time, I saw it with my little brother who's 8 and he wanted to be Rocket. My first impression was, wow, that was the happiest Marvel movie I've ever seen. Usually you get so many superhero movies that are just really sad. And there's like always this element of like the tortured hero kind of thing. But this one was just like, well, we're tortured, but you know what? Get over it.
this is like if they had gotten help, if all the other Marvel movies had gotten help, this is what it would have been like.
My thought would be if they just bring the Guardians of the Galaxy characters to the rest of the Marvel universe, everybody would be happier. It's a funny little movie, so you know, and the second time I saw it, same feeling. It's happy. It makes you feel happy, and it makes you feel like you just want to like skip around and dance.
Yeah, like they did at the end.
Exactly. It's just a really
Group
happy
hug,
movie.
guys.
I know, group hug, and it's a really happy movie. Okay, so let's start with the positives. You know, the pros. What do we like about it?
You want to go first this time?
Yeah, I'll go first this time. So I guess my favorite is definitely, I think the standout thing in this movie is Rocket and Groot. That
She
relation.
already has her OTP pairing.
Yes, I do. One true love, it's what it is. But no, seriously, Rocket and Groot, you know, I think to be able to make two CGI characters, who are completely CGI, by the way. I know they were actors on set, but to have two completely CGI characters and have two voice actors who've never even been in the same recording studio when they're doing the movies, it's actually pretty spectacular the way they've made this relationship work, I think. You know, you really, really feel for them. You know, that moment when, you know, Rocket is speaking to Groot, and Groot, you know, he goes, "We are Groot." And, you know, I think... I know, I remember, I think the first time I went to the theater with my brother, there were definitely people sobbing in the theater when that scene came out. I could hear distinct sobbing noises in the theater.
Were you one of them?
I was quietly sobbing.
The little
Yeah,
tear
the one,
down,
the one tear. One tear. It was a one tear.
So beautiful.
It was very beautiful. But I think that was probably like the most standout thing that I got from this movie, is that they've made two CGI characters completely successful. So I feel like in the future, you make any CGI characters, there's no reason that these characters that are CGI wouldn't work. So, you know, all these other filmmakers out there, if your CGI characters don't work, You can't blame it on just CGI. You should be able to make it work.
Oh, okay. Well, the Plankton has spoken.
Yes, I have. So yeah, I mean, other than Rocket and Groot, I think all the characters are really well acted by the cast. Dave Bautista was a surprise because I think when he was casted, a lot of people were like, oh, you know, God, this is not going to work out. He's not really an actor. But, you know, he did it. He was really wonderful as Drax. Great sense of humor and, like, great comedic timing. It was just really, really brilliant. I liked it. And obviously Chris Pratt is really good at comedy, and, you know, he hits it on the nail every time. And I love that Zoe Saldana's character, Gamora, has, you know, she really does have a heart of gold, and she's very, I guess, gentle and kind for an assassin. But I liked her relationship with her sister Nebula. You know, it's not like, oh,
you like that relationship?
I like that relationship.
What about it did you like?
Well, I like the fact that, you know, she didn't just kind of toss her sister out. You know, like, there's so many movies where it's just, like, sibling rivalry, where it just becomes like, oh, I hate you. And
like, she tried to save her at the end?
Yeah, like,
she hit her so much she cut her arm off.
Well,
that's the relationship you're basing it on.
Well, I mean, I just like the fact that there are little moments where you kind of feel like this relationship, you know, if they go on further in the movies, it's something interesting, you know. She's not just this random lethal assassin, you know. She has someone that she cares.
Backstory.
But yeah, I mean, she really does have, like, kind of her own mind, and she's her own person, and she has her family, the people she cares about, even if it's just, you know, kind of her adopted sister, but still. I guess, you know, they kind of do match up to, like, Thor and Loki in a way.
Yeah,
you know, the bad sort of adopted sibling relationship. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the characters are really well done in the movie. Some of the side characters are really well done as well. The visuals in this movie were spectacular. I mean, it was just, like, you really got into the moment, and I watched it the first time in IMAX. It was just, you guys watch it in IMAX. It's really, really good in IMAX. I mean, cinematography is really great, the special effects were great, and it's not just, you know, I love the fact that it's not just everybody kind of getting blown up, explosions all the time. There were explosions, but they were well done, and they were done with
Michael Bay explosions.
Michael Bay. They were done with purpose, you know. It wasn't just like explosion for explosion's sake.
20 minutes in the movie,
yeah,
we need an explosion.
Exactly.
Or we're gonna lose the audience.
So yeah, I mean, I like the fact that, you know, the emotional moments, you definitely really felt it. You know, like, all the characters. I love the Nova Corps, their ships, when they locked together to form that net. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
What? That's so random.
It was a really beautiful scene.
Okay.
What I'm saying is just that, like, it was something that, like, it was something that was done very well, and it was a very nice scene. The visuals were great, and I like the fact that, you know, when it was, I kind of felt my heart break the first time the Nova Corps ships all exploded. I was like, oh, I really wanted them to stay for a little longer. But yeah, I mean, I think the character relationships were beautiful, and the banter is really great. The humor was excellent. You were definitely just laughing every moment, and I love the fact that they got to, like, kind of subvert the standard, like, blockbuster expectations. Is like, you know, like, everybody stands around, like, the all epic heroic moment, and you just see Rocket goes, great, now we're all standing around, like, we're idiots.
Because you know, the new Marvel movie, the first picture that comes out, right, is them standing around.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, you guys are, you know, like, yeah, another scene where heroes are standing around talking about themselves.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're really self-aware in this movie, and they just kind of mock the genre a little of the summer blockbuster. And Chris Pratt's got some good dancing moves in the beginning. I was like, now I want to listen to that song and just, like, dance down the street somewhere. And, yeah, I mean, I think, and the music choices. Brilliant music choices. Great music. Like, it really fit the moment. I thought going into the movie was going to be, like, kind of a gag, like a running gag of, like, just little music moments thrown in. But, like, they all fit. Like, they really work well with the movie and the tone. So
I kept the story grounded.
yeah, I did. Like it was really nice. Like it kind of told, like the songs kind of told the story along with the actual plot.
And
so
it was kind of like all that heartbreak was still there. Like it's not like he forgot it. You know, it wasn't like he was kidnapped randomly by aliens and then he forgot about his family, his mom.
Yeah,
you know?
no, like
it kind of just like and there's kind of like all those it showed that pain throughout and what each character felt.
Yeah, and, you know, it was pretty great. And so yeah, I mean, bravo to the actors who were awesome and the voice actors. Bradley Cooper does not sound like Bradley Cooper at all. I would think that, like, you know, if people didn't know Bradley Cooper was doing the movie, they probably wouldn't notice it was his voice. And Vin Diesel was awesome as Groot. I think he didn't really have many words to say, but like I know he's like three words in a dialogue. You know, maybe a little bit changing here and there, but like he made the character really cool, and you know, there were those moments like he really hit it. So yeah, that's probably my
like the whole movie. Literally, we're like the whole movie was my favorite.
Yes, the whole entire movie was the good point. This whole
we were just like. All of it. You could have just said that. Would have been fine. I don't even know what to say now.
Whoa,
like,
what was the good
like the whole movie. Okay, you go now. Now that I've mentioned that I love the whole movie and the whole movie's good.
Yes,
what'd you love?
Go.
Oh man.
Okay, so what were some of the negative parts of the movie? Like, what was something that didn't quite work out for you?
Okay, I hate when villains just won't die. And like, okay, so first of all, they show all these scenes where they're literally just about to kill him, and it's always that epic slow motion scene where you're just about to kill the guy, and then he doesn't die, like 3 times. And you're like, oh great, now we have to wait 20 minutes for them to set up the scene, and then finally he's gonna die, and then he never did. So it's like, you set up the scene and then nothing happened. So it was like anticlimactic. And then it doesn't make any sense, because why couldn't he hold the stone? Like, they're like, don't touch the stone! And then the guy was gonna touch the stone, and then he would have died.
Who?
Okay. And in the end, right? You have, the main dude. What's his name again?
She's a normal person. She doesn't remember character names. Ronan.
No, not Ronan.
What?
Pratt. What?
Oh, Chris Pratt's character, Star-Lord, Peter.
Peter. Okay, so Peter and Pratt are.
You're confusing them.
Peter and Ronan are like the little glowy purple thing is like out in the air, right? And they're all
the Infinity Gem is now officially called the little purple thing.
It's out in the air, and they're about to grab it, right? And if you touch it, you die. So why didn't he just let the other guy touch it and die? Why did he grab it? And then they all make the family chain.
Well, because the thing is, because he's Kree, he's part of another alien race. They're a little stronger than normal people. Okay. Comic book knowledge. Okay. Basic comic book knowledge of the Kree, but like they can hold a stone for a lot longer than other people can.
So that's why they said you're probably not.
Yeah, that's why.
You can hold it longer.
Yeah, because like he got the stone the first time, you know, in the movie,
but
and
how
then
long did he hold? Like, couldn't they just have him hold it until he like disintegrates? Like, I mean, he's not infinity. Like, you can't just keep on holding the stone, and then they keep him distracted.
With more dancing?
With their cool dance moves, and he would have held it long enough to go.
Well, he probably would have escaped by then.
What? No.
If he had it, if he got the Infinity Stone and he was able to hold it, remember they were able to use the stone as a weapon to attack. Remember at the end when they were all holding their hands together and they blasted the guy? If he was holding the stone in his hand, he would have.
He is as strong as all 4 of them. Yeah. Combined.
Yeah, he would have been able to hold it. He would have been able to hold the stone long enough by himself to be able to blast him.
That was not clear in the movie. Let me just point that out. The whole time I was like, "That's so stupid. Why'd you even touch it? You could have just killed him right away."
You would have ruined the dramatic ending.
I remember what I liked. Okay. The best scene was when you saw these 2 random people on the bridge, and you were like, "Oh my gosh." Another random people who might die. Because throughout this whole movie, there were just crowds everywhere, and they were just the most annoying people. Because they literally did nothing. They just stood there. They weren't even screaming. They were just kind of like, look. at those random people.
They probably get attacked so often they just forget.
They're like in every scene where there's a crowd. It was just kind of like they're just sitting there going, "Look, another person doing something stupid." And then you see these people, this like mom and daughter, and then they got connected back at the end, and I was like, "Yes, they did have a purpose," and I like that.
Speaking of purpose, Dancing Groot. The little tree sapling, the dancing baby Groot. That should be a toy. We discussed this on the car ride back. It should be a dancing, like, just little potted plant. Little potted plant with, like, little dance moves.
And it wouldn't be that hard to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a really cool toy. Like, just put it on my desk. Have a little dancing baby Groot. They should give one to Vin Diesel.
That's so random.
It's not. He dances and he plays Groot. So the part of the movie that I had some issue with, I think there was a little bit of issue with the dialogue, and maybe it's just because I am more familiar as a comic book reader to the story. It felt a little bit repetitive at time. There was a lot of exposition.
Like, I am Groot.
No. The I am Groot I understood, but like it just felt like there were scenes where they were explaining things twice. Just like there were a lot of like kind of standing around exposition scenes. Yeah, I felt like that was a little bit weak. I mean, it wasn't really that big part of the problem because it was like there was a lot of character interactions anyways, but it was something that at some points was kind of like, there was a lot of speaking.
I know, I feel like there was a lot of speaking and then they didn't tell you what you wanted to know. Like, you were just like, I'm still confused. Thanks for your like, and then you just were more confused. So they tried to explain crap and then they didn't even like explain what you needed to be explained. They just added more mystery to it and you were just kind of like, okay.
Well, so the dialogue is, I think, one issue. Another part I felt like, I mean, I understand sort of like this is what this movie is supposed to be. They do it in very like kind of broad, general story, and it's very simple, and I don't mind it. You know, it's a summer blockbuster film. They didn't make it to be like really, you know, Inception like deep, complex movie. But
no one will be as deep as Inception.
Inception's not even deep as Inception. But I did feel that Ronan was kind of a weak villain. Yeah, kind of a bit of a second tier. Yeah, kind of like Malekith in Thor: The Dark World. They're there to serve a purpose, and that's generally really it. Yeah. But I mean, like,
do anything.
It didn't like they didn't really. I mean, didn't necessarily, like, distract from the story because they were kind of the plot point in the story. But I felt like, you know, maybe if just a little, you know, have a bit more of a, you know, a character story in it. I just feel like...
You feel scared. You were just like...
Yeah,
this random guy who just randomly
he was just not as strong as I hoped his character would be. But I mean, I get it. You know, you're watching this movie, you want to see the Guardians. You know, you're there to see their character. So at least their character was fleshed out pretty well. And also, I would have liked to see a bit more of Nebula. I felt like, you know, but at least she's alive at the end of the movie, so you know, there's room for her to come back. I think there were Yondu was great, but I feel like there were a few other characters that I wish they did a little bit more, and that might just be me nitpicking on. I wish good actors would get a little bit more screen time, like John C. Reilly and Glenn Close, who plays Nova Prime, the leader.
Like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you didn't see much of her. I wish we did see more. You know, she's you know the strong female character who's leading the Nova Corps group, and I felt like, you know, maybe in more movies we'll see more of her, but I feel like, you know, an actress of her caliber and an actress of John C. Reilly's caliber, I just wish they were given a little bit more to do. They felt a little bit more like cameos than supporting roles. But you know, but when they were there, they were good, so it didn't detract from the movie ultimately, but it was just like, you know, those little nitpicky moments. But, you know, overall, I think the movie was good.
I think that there was no character development, I feel like.
Yeah.
There was just so many characters, and then they spend so much time on trying to make it funny, and trying to, like, hit the punchline, that you miss out on all this character development, and a lot, like, for someone who doesn't know what's going on, they're just like, a lot of time we're like, so who's he? So what's her, like, why are they sisters? And now she was tortured, and you know, there was like so minimal backstory that even when they tried to inject it, they did so badly that it didn't do anything for you. It did nothing for the storyline at all.
I think that's one of the things. This movie is very general. You know, I think they painted in very broad strokes.
Yeah,
I think
it's such a general. It felt like it kind of felt like they were working with all this whole like this whole storyline, and they were just trying to sum it up into like 2 hours, and they were just picking the most broad, like, oh yeah, this would really explain everything, even though if you never read it, you would not understand what's going on.
But yeah, you know, yeah, I think that may also be just the fact that Marvel is wanting to reach out to a more general audience. Because, like, if people are unfamiliar with the property, I think they would want to be general so that people would be like, oh, okay. You know, if you go into more of this, you know, like cybernetic testing, the backstory.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
You know, I think they were afraid that it would load the movie a little too much, and they were trying to have it just be like, you know, refreshing and funny. But you know, the humor was good. So ultimately the humor saves the entire movie. Even if you knew it was kind of like a punchline every few minutes, you still laughed. You still were like, yes.
I was definitely like happy, and I was like, when I watched it, I was like, wow, this is a great movie. But now that we're sitting here talking about it, I'm kind of like, wait a minute. Wait, what did I really see? What was the movie really about? You know, like...
It's like a Galaxy Quest movie where you're just like, you just want to sit there.
You're like so happy when you watch it. You're like, this is great. I'm having a great time. They're so funny. I love all these actors. That little guy's so cute. And then you come out of it and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It was a little.
What was I watching?
It was a little thin on the plot.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think this was a movie that was designed to have that much plot to begin with.
It was something like
It's
kind of like with Thor, the first movie. Thor, the first movie, definitely felt like a introduction to the series. Like, it didn't even feel like a movie. It felt like, oh, we're introducing all the characters, and then we're gonna make them on a cute little adventure so you understand how they interact with each other. But definitely with this one, I kind of felt like that. We're like, if we see the next one, it'll definitely feel like, oh, okay, so I don't know all these characters.
Yeah.
And they've gone on this really fun adventure together, and now they're best buds, and they've held hands and skipped. And now they're gonna, like, really...
Literally held hands and skipped.
And now they're gonna go down, get down. You know, like, this is definitely, I guess when I think about it, it's definitely like a prologue to everything.
Yeah. You kind of have to
Which kind of annoying for me, that's kind of annoying for the movie, but as a whole, when the whole series, it makes sense. But when you just see that one movie and you don't know anything about it, it can get really annoying.
Okay, so...
Oh, okay, I just want to say that I really hope that the red tattooed guy and the green girl get together. That's what I think they would be so good together.
Drax and Gamora?
Yes, thank you. Now referred to as the red tattooed guy and the green girl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the pairing what everyone else is gonna think.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
But yeah, I think.
Did you see the cute little silences they had to?
I think they would be a good couple.
Guys, come on, make that happen.
Think about how lethal they would be.
Oh my god, they'd be like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith of the alien world.
If they had a baby, it would just be like born lethal.
It would be so don't deny it. It would be cool.
Are you sure it wouldn't just be like Rocket Raccoon? Like if they had a baby, it would just be Rocket Raccoon.
Maybe
clone number 2 or something.
But it'd be awesome.
I wonder what we're gonna see next in Guardians 2. Maybe Peter's father.
Yeah, I think they kind of set that one up. It's kind of like, I feel like I'm watching the Star Wars movies all over again.
Yeah, the same Star Wars meaning.
I am your father. And you're like, what, Daddy?
Except there's no I am your father moment, but maybe the next movie there will be a...
Yeah, I feel like this is like Star Wars 1. And then...
Can you imagine a parody moment of like, I am your father? What? Instead of the dramatic no, you just see him go, what? Like... My dad is a blue alien. Great.
I love how only like he looks completely human, except for like a single differentiation in his nerves or something. Like that's the only thing he has from his father. like this tiny blip. You can't even tell. Like, what? I guess like half and half just doesn't work in there. His genetic makeup. Why not?
No. In the comics, his dad was the second son of a galactic emperor. Just putting that out there.
So random. What?
It was from a
so he's like a prince.
He is a prince.
Aww.
Which I'm pretty sure that's what that it was. He's a Disney prince.
Yeah.
Which I think that could connect to that scene where they call him Star Prince.
Oh.
Where that little joke is like, no, not Star Prince.
Wait, question, side note. Does that make Leia a Disney princess now?
Yes. Princess Leia is a Disney princess. She's so happy about it. But yeah, so I think his dad's coming from a I don't know if it's a planet or just an empire. I think it's a planet called Spartax. It sounds like Spartacus.
This is Sparta.
But I think it's called Spartax.
Don't quote her on that.
Yeah, don't quote me on it. Bad pronunciation probably. But yeah, so he is a prince, or at least some sort of grandson to a king or something. So yeah, so I think when they said ancient race, I'm assuming the reason his dad didn't look for him the last 26 years is probably because he can't leave or something.
Wait. How does ancient race equate with I can't leave?
Well, I mean, because they said they're an ancient unknown race, so they're probably more like a hidden race that doesn't show themselves to a lot of people.
Except being an Earth woman.
Except an Earth woman.
This makes no sense.
But I think in the movie
Percy Jackson.
In the movie, we saw when they go to the station called Nowhere. Really good name, Nowhere.
Nowhere. I liked it.
They were talking about the head of an ancient celestial being.
They were.
I think they're gonna try to combine, because in the Marvel comics there's a race of being called the Celestials.
Okay.
And I think they might be trying to combine the Celestials with the race in the comics of Star-Lord's dad. So maybe they're like mixing it into like one race or a descendant of the Celestials or something. Because his mother did say he was like an angel. So
moms call her kid.
Well, no, not the kid. She was saying the father. He was like an angel.
Yeah. So, and she was like the minute she was like, I hope he comes back from far, far away. You're like,
Yeah, so
he's an alien.
So if you add like celestial being and angel, I feel like it's kind of a connection there. So we don't know. We don't know where that's gonna go.
Makes sense.
How do we rate this movie amongst the Marvel movies itself, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, of all the movies that we've seen so far?
Like, second.
Second after
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man's number one.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, I think that's the same. It's the same for me. It's my second favorite Marvel movie, but after the Avengers, I think the Avengers was something.
That's true.
I think the bad fan. You should be punished. But I feel like the Avengers was something a little special because when you were everything was building up to the Avengers.
Okay, I changed my mind. Avengers first, then Iron Man, and then this movie. Because I can't you don't just win because you're funny. You have to have some deeper plot at the end. You know, I can't just remember you for your jokes. So I rated third. There we go.
What about the Winter Soldier? Where is that? Is that land at number 4 now?
Yeah, it's number 4. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I think mine's the Avenger just because it's the movie that nerds have been waiting for. Like, all the fans have been waiting for so long.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, if that movie had not done well to balance all the characters and sort of give them all their moments, I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy, people would have had that much faith in it because there's so many characters, again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that one's my number 1. I think I put Guardians at number 2 just because, like, the entire feel of the movie, it just feels like you just feel fun. It feels
Okay,
happy. So we're gonna rate the movie in our own, our very own special
way.
rating system.
You gonna explain it before we?
You want to explain it?
Okay, so we rate movies based on how many bathroom breaks you should take during the movie, and so 0 bathroom breaks means good. It's kind of the opposite, and then it can go on forever based on like our personal preference. So we're gonna do based on bathroom breaks. Hope it's not too confusing, but we'll see.
Well, I think for me, I'll say I definitely did not feel the need to go to the bathroom in this movie at all. So no bathroom breaks. Definitely. I mean, I don't want to miss a moment of this.
Yeah,
like, I was like, even if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I'd be like, no, I'm sitting through this. Yeah. I'm gonna power through this whole entire thing because I want to see this movie. You don't want to miss anything because not only are the jokes funny, but also just like the character interactions are really, really great. You know, I could literally watch an entire movie of just them sitting around a table talking. I was like, they could be talking heads, and I would find that completely amusing.
I say 0 bathroom breaks. I just skip the drink, just sit down, get there early because the trailers are pretty good. Not gonna admit, a couple of fangirling moments within the trailers themselves. So definitely, we're gonna rate this movie 0 bathroom break, and you should see it.
Definitely. Go see it. Go to your theater, whatever theater you're going to.
Support your local theater causes.
Yes. Go watch the movie. And if you can, go see it in IMAX because the film was made to be seen in IMAX. It's a giant space epic. It's what you wanted Star Wars, the prequels, to be. I think, go see the movie. Go see it multiple times.
Don't waste your... Okay, guys. I am not a fan of wasting money on IMAX or seeing it multiple times. Belinda is, Plankton is, but I don't know. That's up to just go see it. I
implore my fellow nerds. If you love this movie, go watch it so many times.
And then drag your friends.
Yes, take your friends,
your family,
your siblings. If you got little siblings, if you got younger siblings, and take them to go see this movie.
Your favorite stuffed animal. Just take you and all your closest imaginary friends with you.
Imaginary friends. But yeah, just take everybody you can, go see this movie because it's great. It's a lot of fun for everybody. Dancing Baby Groot. Everybody loved that moment.
Tell you guys, all week.
all week, Dancing Baby Groot.
All week.
I'm gonna be dancing to like the Jackson 5 song like all weekend. This is gonna be. We got a sequel coming up, and we got to see a little bit of a link to the rest of the Avengers universe with Thanos.
Oh yeah, I know. Did we spoil everything? Is this a spoiler video?
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't wait till the end of the movie. Wait till the end, just sit through it all. In case you missed those.
Alright, everyone. Bye-bye.